Now the top focus here on the burning question, Pakistan's 2014 Kashmir double game has been exposed. India today has learned that separatist leader Asiya Andrabi was in contact with Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif even when he came to attend Prime Minister Modi's oath-taking ceremony in 2014. Was Nawaz planning a betray when India initiated steps towards peace?
Explosive details that expose the tale of Pakistan treachery. Stunning revelations that show Pakistan's 2014 Kashmir double game. How Pakistan betrayed when India initiated steps towards peace. As Prime Minister Modi extended a hand of friendship to his then Pakistani counterpart Nawaz Sharif in 2014 by inviting him to his swearing-in, was the former Pakistan Prime Minister already plotting a betrayal? NIA sources have told India today that separatist leader Asiya Andrabi was in touch with former Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif even when he had come to attend Prime Minister Modi's oath-taking ceremony in 2014. According to the National Investigation Agency, Asiya Andrabi, during an investigation, admitted that she reached out to Nawaz Sharif. She claims that she had written a letter to then Pakistan Prime Minister stating that Pakistan is not doing enough for Kashmir, to which Nawaz had responded saying he was doing his best. Later that year, Andrabi was amongst top separatist leaders who were invited to the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi, following which India chose to call off Foreign Secretary level bilateral talks with Pakistan. And it wasn't just Nawaz Sharif. Asiya Andrabi was also in touch with several terror bosses, including 26/11 mastermind Hafiz Saeed. Interrogation reports suggest that Asiya had told Hafiz Saeed to pressurize the Pakistan government so that the Kashmir committee can take proper action in the valley. Both of them were in touch over internet calls. Besides Saeed, she was also talking with Hizbul Mujahideen chief Syed Salahuddin. Post the killing of Burhan Wani on July 8, 2016, Asiya had allegedly asked him to convince Pakistan to approach the United Nations. These damning revelations on Pakistan's double game and betrayal comes at a time of reports that the to-be Pakistan Prime Minister may invite Prime Minister Modi to attend his swearing-in. The big question now is, can India ever trust Pakistan? With Kamaljeet Sandhu in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now this is our top focus on the burning question at 9 a.m. Nawaz met Modi. Was he plotting already a betrayal against India? Was Andrabi in touch with the former Pakistan Prime Minister? Nawaz talked Kashmir with India haters, and Pakistan-Kashmir double game yet exposed. The big question, of course, would be, can India trust any Pakistani leader? Nawaz Sharif, who was being seen as the one who is taking on the army, his game has also been exposed of how intimately he was in fact involved with the separatists. Let me introduce my guest on the show today. Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow, ORF and Strategic Affairs Expert, is joining us on the broadcast. We are also being joined by Kamar Chima, Defense and Security Expert from Pakistan. My colleague Kamaljeet Sandhu, who got us exclusive news, is also now with us on the broadcast. Kamal, I want to come to you first. Just break it down for our viewers. Just tell us what are the highlights of this, what at least we should see as an intent once again by Nawaz Sharif after 1999 to betray our trust when it comes to Kashmir and Pakistan.
Well, what Asiya Andrabi has done has made an open admission about her contact with Nawaz Sharif. And not just that, she was also in touch with the ex-DG ISI, Hamid Gul. She said communicate to General Rahil Sharif that they should do more action in Kashmir. That is now quite belated. Even while Nawaz Sharif was here for the grand swearing-in ceremony, after that he was in touch with Asiya Andrabi. Not only did he send a condolence letter to her mother at her mother's device in 2015, but in 2014 2014, he was saying, okay, we are doing enough in Kashmir. The other part is obviously about how when separatists were called, she was one of those who was invited to the Pakistan High Commission. She had received a letter from Sartaj Aziz, who was at that point of time PM Nawaz Sharif's advisor. And even when the meeting was going on, after which India-Pakistan Foreign Secretary level were called off, the Pakistani side clearly asked the separatists as to what agenda they should take up with India. So obviously they wanted to make them a stakeholder. India's clearly rejected that. But at that point of time also, what revelations we've got through the interrogation report of Asiya Andrabi is very clear. They're conspiring, and she has done incidents of stone pelting either in Anantnag. There are 17 cases against her. 2 of them, besides these 17, are from the NIA. So there is a clear admission. The other part is even during her foreign travel, that is now under the scanner, where she has been part of protest against Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently in London.
Kamal, stay on with me. We are also being joined by Lieutenant General Shankar Prasad, defense analyst on the broadcast. We also will be going across to Engineer Rashid, who is also joining us here on India Today. But before I get my guest in, what I want to show you right now is we have in fact compiled this whole list of how many times has India, and it's not only about Prime Minister Modi, but our former Prime Ministers as well, we have gone across, tried to get Pakistan to speak about peace, to resolve the issues, and how we have been betrayed time and again. The handshakes that resulted in betrayal from the Pakistanis. Let's just quickly take this through now. The biggest one, of course, 1999, February 1999, former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he goes to Pakistan. India-Pakistan sign Lahore Declaration. What we get in May and July of that year, the Kargil War. Pakistani infiltrators, the army regulars sitting, coming across the border in Kargil and other areas and sitting right in Indian territory. Now, General Pervez Musharraf, who in fact overthrew Nawaz Sharif in July 2001, he came for the Agra summit. In December 2001, there was an attack on the parliament. This was one of the biggest attacks on India, and this almost brought both the countries to the brink of war yet again. Now, in September 2008, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, in fact, meets the then and Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari. India and Pakistan talk trade. They talk about opening borders. What happens in November 2008? Mumbai terror attack, one of the biggest terror attacks on Indian soil. More than 168 people were killed in this. Now, May 2014, Prime Minister Modi invites Nawaz Sharif for his swearing in, meets him. Both of them, in fact, meet very warmly. Those visuals still, in fact, played over and over again. Between 2014 and 2015, 800 ceasefire violations by the Pakistani side, unprovoked firing from the Pakistani side across the border. Now, July 2015, Modi Sharif meet at SCO summit. What happens in July and August 2015? Udhampur, Gurdaspur attacks in India. So when the Prime Minister once again tried on the meeting on the sidelines, tried to in fact extend another hand, we get another bigger terror attack. December 2015, Prime Minister Modi makes one more try. A surprise visit to Lahore, meets Nawaz Sharif, then Prime Minister, on his birthday, goes to his residence, and it is followed in January 2016 by the Pathankot attack on the Indian Air Force base. Now, these, in fact, are just few examples. Sushant Sareen, I want to bring you in at this point of time before we go to Kamar Chima. These are just few examples that we have quoted of how time and over time we have, in fact, tried to get, in fact, Pakistan to come onto the talking table. We have gone out of our way to get Pakistanis to talk peace, and every time we have been betrayed.
Yeah, but Ankit, the question I think needs to be asked from the Indian establishment as to why. Why do we keep doing the same thing over and over again? and expect a different result? What is it that leads us to delude ourselves into believing that the Pakistanis are going to turn over a new leaf, that they're actually interested in peace and tranquility on the borders, that they actually want good relations and normalization of relations with India? What is this obtuseness in the Indian mind that it cannot understand the nature of the Pakistani state as it is currently structured? So I think a lot of the blame, forget about what the Pakistanis do, they will do what they are supposed to do. But what about us? When are we going to wake up and smell the coffee and say that, okay, fine, this is what the nature of the relationship is? Now, what we then tend to do is that, we love these spectacles. We are a country of tamashas. So we love these spectacles which are very high on optics,
yes,
but very low on substance. So we invite Nawaz Sharif. Did he give us any assurance that he's going to change the Pakistani policy on Kashmir? I don't think so.
Okay.
So what led us to believe that he was an honest broker in this whole thing and we could do business with him? If we fool ourselves, why blame the Pakistanis for it?
Right. Also, Engineer Rashid, I want you to come in at this point of time. The fact that we are breaking this exclusive story on how Asiya Andrabi is asking Prime Minister of Pakistan, then Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, asking him to, in fact, ensure that there are more attacks in India. The Pakistani side needs to do more to damage India. Now, these are not separatists. These are not people who believe in peace, even if they have a contrary idea. How is it that people like Asiya Andrabi should be tolerated? She is asking an enemy country to come and ensure that there is more destruction, there is more violence in Jammu and Kashmir. Should people like you, should the civil society in Jammu and Kashmir, should they in fact accept people like Asiya Andrabi?
Is it for me?
Engineer Rashid, aapke liye hai, sir. Please go ahead.
I couldn't hear properly, but having heard you, whatever I observed, my point is simple. If Manish Shankar Iyer and others can go and visit Pakistan embassy and have some practical dialogue, I am sure that every Kashmiri politician who wants a peaceful resolution to the dispute, they should be encouraged, because at the end of the day...
Sir, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. I didn't want to, but it is about people, those who want a peaceful resolution. Even if you have a contrary view, you can speak to people for a peaceful resolution. Here, Asiya Andrabi is writing to the Prime Minister. She's saying that I've been writing to my brothers, Hafiz Mohammed Saeed, the perpetrator of 26/11 attacks. She's saying that there needs to be more that needs to be done on stone pelting, more attacks that needs to be mounted against India. Is that a peaceful resolution that she's looking at?
No, that could be her viewpoint. I don't subscribe to her viewpoint on that front. But my point is simple, that even if Ginani Saab or Asiya Andrabi wants Pakistan to help for a political resolution in a peaceful way, I am sure that everybody must encourage that thing. And whatsoever is being spoken, it is matter of investigation. I am not party to that.
All right, Kamar Chima. Now, this whole talk about, a new chapter, a new page that needs to be turned with Imran Khan coming in. You've been on my show. We have spoken at length about it. When we get to hear stories like this in 2014, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in fact extending that hand of friendship, he invited Nawaz Sharif. He was already in talks with the separatists in Kashmir Valley, assuring them that the Pakistani army and the Pakistani elements, as you'd like to call them, the non-state actors, are doing enough to make sure that the Kashmir situation, or at least the Indian part of Kashmir right now, keeps on the boil. There are terror attacks. How do we trust any Pakistani leader? We are talking about Imran Khan, who has been, who in fact has been alleged that he is backed by the army. Army has rigged the elections for Imran Khan so that he can win. The person we thought is against the army was also doing the same thing. How does India have the courage to move forward and again extend a hand of friendship to Pakistan if we are betrayed every time?
Well, first of all, I think every Kashmiri leader in Indian occupied Kashmir had a contact with the Pakistan's political leadership, not with the Asiya Andrabi, one thing. Second, I think you are talking that the Nawaz Sharif betrayed India. Nawaz Sharif has taken oath of allegiance to with people of Pakistan, not with the people of India. So he's all what he has done in his tenure as a prime minister, he has done for Pakistan. The third thing, what I'm trying to figure out,
are you accepting, Kamar Chima, that encouraging terrorism across the border in Kashmir is the state policy of Pakistan? And every Prime Minister will have, in fact, adhere to that state policy of Pakistan. This is what Pakistan wants. The civil society of Pakistan wants to destabilize India. Is that what you're telling me, sir?
Pakistan's position on Indian occupied Kashmir is to support it politically, diplomatically, and morally. These are the three ways, the way the Pakistani authorities support Kashmir. That's one thing. Now, coming to the point, I think the way the situation has been created, and you are trying to correlate Imran Khan's oath ceremony with the 2014 oath ceremony of Mr. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I think the hawks in India want to make the Nawaz Sharif, Prime Minister, the coming Prime Minister Imran Khan's oath-taking ceremony controversial and putting pressure on Prime Minister Narendra Modi not to go to Pakistan, because when they came, they were contacting the Kashmiris. So there is a betrayal. There is no situation where they can move forward. I think this is the right time. The good voices, the doves in India, they need to appreciate whatever Imran Khan does and the way Prime Minister Modi spoke with Imran Khan. These are the marvelous times. Let's enjoy the good times coming. If the peace is coming, let's give peace a chance, and let's not
Lieutenant General Prasad, fantastic words, Lieutenant General Prasad, that we have heard over and over again. Let's give peace a chance. This is a new regime. But the problem is when Qamar Cheema says we are only supporting them politically and morally, that is not what the evidence that India has and we have put out in the globally. There are people, it's not for Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, it's not just about meeting the separatists, it is also assuring them, telling them there is active militant terrorist support and army support that Pakistan is providing them to destabilize Kashmir and India.
You're absolutely correct. The unfortunate part is most Indians, whether outside the establishment of the government or inside the government, know the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is what is very clearly stated, which is staring us in our face, that Kashmir is a serious problem between India and Pakistan. Indian position on Kashmir is very clear. It is subject that is not to be discussed. We have serious problem of terrorism. If anything, terrorism needs to be discussed and sorted out. The point is simple. Whether it is Nawaz Sharif or whether it is Imran Khan or whether it is the army chief or the ISI chief, we all know in India that there is no way Pakistan is going to do anything about Kashmir. Kashmir remains the core issue. They will support it politically, morally, psychologically and everything, and above everything militarily, and above everything terrorism. The whole policy of Pakistan is to inflict terrorism into Kashmir and bleed it by 1,000 cuts. How many times and how many years are we going to say this? This is known to everybody.
Yes.
You should have read, and I'm complete agreement with Sushant Sareen just said in the beginning of the program, and I've also read his piece in the Mail today. We are absolutely correct. We all know it. But the problem is there are some people who want to disbelieve. Give peace a chance. Go back to Pakistan for Imran Khan's swearing-in ceremony, have another Pathankot, have another Nagrota. What is this going on? Knowing fully well, we extended a hand to say, please send your NIA here.
Yes.
We will discuss with your National Security Advisor and our NSA, and let's take a step forward on terrorism. They decided to come, but last minute they cancelled it because we had so much evidence to put before them. Now, how much evidence do people in India,
Absolutely.
how much evidence do people in the media, how much evidence do people in political circles need to get as to what is the state of affairs in Pakistan?
Because this story keeps repeating itself. This story and what Qamar Cheema is saying right now about giving peace a chance, a new regime, a new face. The face may change, but the policy against India, the hatred against India does not change. Qamar Cheema, I am going to come back and give you a chance to respond to that. I have to take a very quick break. I want to come back and not focus just a little bit more on what we have broken here on India Today about the links. Once again, the evidence that we have put forward of how separatists with backing of Pakistan, and I don't know whether we can call Asiya Andrabi a separatist anymore. She's a terrorist because she's asking for more attacks in India. Kamaljeet Sandhu, my colleague who broke the story, very quickly, I want to once again bring her in. Kamal, just tell our viewers about how and who all in the Pakistani establishment once again were in fact actively supporting Asiya Andrabi in propagating not only stone pelting but terror incidents in Jammu and Kashmir, and what exactly is now going to happen with her?
There are at least 8 people who've been named by NI who she was regularly in touch with. Number one is Hamid Gul, who is the ex-ISI DG, obviously in touch, and she wanted to communicate it even to the Army General. At that point of time, it was Rahil Sharif saying that he should do more action in Kashmir. Then it was Nawaz Sharif. In the other list is obviously Hafiz Saeed and Saeed Salahuddin. Also the wives Noor Jahan as well as Uma Talha, who died in 2016. Besides that, another Pakistan writer. Now remember, at that point of time, even talking to a journalist is not such an issue. A writer called Ghazala, who's been in regular touch with Asiya Andrabi. But at this point of time, what investigators are looking at is whether she was in touch with deep state. She's been talked about, interrogated by female interrogators. What she's been also telling is that she wanted more action to be done. Even during the times of the flood, she had contacted Hafiz Saeed. The fact is that terror mastermind who has unleashed several terror attacks in India and in Kashmir, he's a man who's free to talk to her at any point of time, whether there is a situation on post Burhan Wani giving point by point timely situation updates to him, talking on personal as well as matters of Kashmir.
Yes.
So that is what she's been doing. And the other part is she's clearly called India Satan and saying any sort of force action against India or stone pelting is all justified.
Okay. Kamal, thank you so much for bringing us all those details. Sushant Sareen, there are a lot of people, those who are at this point of time talking about the track to diplomacy. Kamar Chima, it's easy for him to sit in Pakistan because he also understands their entire policy of, as General Shankar Prasad was putting it, bleeding India with 1,000 cuts. Pakistanis believe in that. No matter how many times there have been overtures of peace, it has always resulted in a dead end. At this point of time, do we have or should we in fact indulge in any sort of diplomacy, trying to normalize relations with Pakistan till the time we don't get tangibles on terrorists sitting in Pakistan actively supporting terror in Jammu and Kashmir?
Ankit, not engaging is also diplomacy, but clearly we have lines of communication open. The Pakistanis have their mission in Delhi, we have our mission in Islamabad. Now, this proclivity which our leaders have on both sides, I would say, of creating these spectacles, I think that needs to be resisted. I don't think, this constant harping on, let us improve the optics, let us improve the atmospherics, that's been done to death. That's not going to work. It is better that if there is sincerity on both sides, although I have serious doubts of sincerity on the Pakistani side, but let's test the waters. So there are mechanisms at lower levels which can serve as a building block, eventually leading to a political level engagement in which the larger political questions can be addressed. But these building blocks will work only because if the Pakistani side was to actually start delivering on some matters of Indian concerns, and if there are any concerns that Pakistan has on India, then what we can do to address some of those concerns. Now, this is a very slow, laborious process. But, if you are going to be working on election cycles, if you are going to be working on creating spectacles, then you shoot the whole thing down. And then we keep raising the question, can we trust Pakistan? In international relations, I'm afraid, even in politics, there is nothing called trust. You do certain things, your actions will lead to either some degree of trust or not. And in the case of Pakistan, we seem to have this blind faith, blind trust, touching faith, I would say, that the Pakistanis are going to suddenly turn around and turn a new leaf. That's not happening for the last 70 years. That's not going to happen for another 700.
Kamar Chima, Sushant made a very valid point about how election cycles in a way also
things can work out.
Yes, how election cycles in a way also have so much effect on how the relationships between India and Pakistan fare. Though Pakistan has a very constant policy, at least of pushing terrorists onto our side, but the fact is, Imran Khan, before he was elected, we have played those rallies after rallies here on the Indian television as well, was Spring India. He was talking about about Kashmir, not in a peaceful manner, saying we would support them in whatever way we can. He spoke against the Prime Minister of India. In that scenario, till the time your Prime Minister-elect doesn't show anything tangible, how should we believe that what he was saying before elections, there has been any change of heart after he has won the election?
Well, I think, first of all, I would agree with Sushant Sareen that India and Pakistan need to address their concerns. I agree with that one thing. The second thing you talked about, that Imran Khan, when he was in an election campaign, I think I was happy enough back in 2013 that the political elite in Pakistan didn't discuss the India in the election campaign. But unfortunately, I think there was a rise in frustration among the political candidates, including Imran Khan and Shehbaz Sharif, that everybody was talking about India to gather support. And this same happens in India, even in every election, harping anti-Pakistan themes. That was unfortunate even. But I think let's appreciate that Imran Khan, since is coming in power, I think the people-to-people contact with Pakistan and India will increase. But unfortunately, the layout I'm looking at the moment is that somehow the hawks in India want to pressurize the Indian government, whereas the people in general, they have contacts and they want things to improve. But
why shouldn't the people in India ask the government of India to move only when we get something tangible in return? It just can't be one-way street. It just can't be that you keep asking, you keep making these overtures and keep getting betrayed. Why? What is wrong if people in India want concrete action from Pakistan on terrorism before Prime Minister Modi once again goes there and sits with Imran Khan?
Want from India. Same the people of Pakistan want from India, that the people like Kulbhushan Yadav and the meddling in Balochistan and the supporting Pakistan, the Taliban must be stopped. Can India do something for
Pakistan,
that?
Taliban?
Do you have any answer for that?
I mean, it will be laughable if you will, because you have a Prime Minister who in Pakistan and your Pakistani media is called a Taliban Khan, and you're talking about Balochistan and Pakistan Taliban.
That was anyway,
what I want to, and I concede your point. If Pakistanis have some considerations, we can sit across the table. Once once you sort out these issues, then these grand gestures of Prime Ministers meeting should be overtaken. Isn't that how it should be, Lieutenant General Shankar Prasad? Because Pakistanis are so happy claiming that yes, we are in touch with the terrorists and separatists in Kashmir, but my God, don't touch anybody in Pakistan. If India speaks to someone, that becomes blasphemy.
See, the fact of the matter is very simple, and which is what we have been saying for a very long time. Dialogue is the way forward. Certainly, dialogue is the way forward. What is the first issue to be discussed? The first issue on the agenda is to discuss terrorism. Terrorism is what is eating us up all. We will talk about Kashmir as we get there. Right now, we are talking about terrorism. Time and time again, we have said, yes, we are willing to have a dialogue. Please, let's have a dialogue. If you want to say something about Kulbhushan, we will talk about it. If you want to talk about something about Andrabi, we'll talk about it, or Hafiz Saeed or Salahuddin, and what is happening in trans-border activity, what is happening on the LOC, what is happening inside the hinterland, how are these people putting money. Let us discuss all this matter. So the agenda between India and Pakistan is first and foremost for a dialogue on to say, let us discuss terrorism. Let us discuss insurgency. Let us discuss trans-border infiltration that you are indulging in. Let us discuss the money that you are pumping into Kashmir. Let us discuss the kind of agitation that you ferment in Kashmir by stone pelting and other things. Let us discuss it. If you want to bring in Kharbanda or Kulbhushan, certainly we will talk about it. That also, you bring your evidence, we will bring our evidence. But the point is this: Kashmir is far away. Kashmir is something which is not under discussion at the moment and cannot be discussed. It is non-negotiable at the moment. We say the whole of Kashmir needs to be discussed, whether it's Pakistan occupied Kashmir or anywhere else. The point today is, I agree with everyone. Dialogue is the way forward. Yes, dialogue on what? Dialogue on terrorism, man. What are we talking about?
Right.
What is the point in discussing anything else? Let us discuss this first issue. We will discuss all the other issues subsequently. And
that has been a constant position as far as the Indian side is concerned, barring these few grand overtures, as Sushant calls them, the whole Indian and Pakistani side trying to make these big events which result into nothing. Now, another big event that is being spoken about these days is, of course, Prime Minister elect of Pakistan, Imran Khan. and his swearing-in ceremony. A lot is being spoken on both the sides about his swearing-in ceremony. Well, he has invited a few people from India. Imran Khan has already invited, in fact, Kapil Dev, former cricketer, who in fact has played against Imran Khan. Imran Khan has also invited Sunil Gavaskar. Another person that we know is in the invitee list of the Pakistan Prime Minister-elect is Navjot Singh Sidhu and actor Amir Khan. So these people have been invited, and we got this confirmation from the spokesperson of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party, that's Imran Khan's party. Let's just listen in to first this confirmation of Fawad Chaudhry, who told India today about these invitations and what about the plan to invite the leaders from the SAARC countries.
We have asked the Foreign Office to check if they can make it or not, and the judgment will be made by the Foreign Office. And obviously, if Chairman has already shown his commitment towards improvement of ties between India and Pakistan, and talks are the way forward. So obviously, if Prime Minister Modi's visit doesn't happen now, the soon both Imran Khan and Prime Minister Modi will meet soon, and this is the way how this state business goes, forward. There are two categories. One category is that the personal friends of Chairman Imran Khan, like Sunil Gavaskar and Navjot Singh Sidhu and Kapil Dev. We want to invite them, and these invitations are likely to be sent by the party. And maybe the Amir Khan, because Amir Khan promised that when Imran Khan will become the Prime Minister, he would come on his own speaking ceremony. This is what he said. So these four invitations may be sent by the party.
While the invitation to Prime Minister Modi still hangs in air, Punjab Minister and former Indian cricketer Navjot Singh Sidhu is all set to attend the Pakistan Prime Minister-elect Imran Khan's swearing-in ceremony on August 11. Responding to Khan's invite, Sidhu said it is a great honour for him to get the invitation. He even described Imran Khan as a man of character who can be trusted. Pakistan Prime Minister Modi's call to Imran Khan over his win led to speculations that he might attend the swearing-in ceremony of Pakistan-elect Imran Khan. Imran Khan's party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party, on Wednesday said it will send formal invitations to in fact, the people that we put out to the four, including actor Amir Khan. Besides the four celebrities, Imran Khan is also interested in inviting SAARC leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, for the swearing-in ceremony. And why I thought that this is an important, thing to discuss right now and put it out for our viewers, apart from informing them, Sushant Sareen, is the fact that we have been discussing it over and over again as far as what the Prime Minister should do, and why this invitation and all these gestures are important is the point of how much can India afford another spectacle like this. Would the Prime Minister of India, and I just want to ask from the internal dynamics of this country, can he afford to go to Pakistan in an election year where the degree or certainty of a betrayal from Pakistan is, like always, very high? Would he be able to afford this?
Ankit, he's been known to be taking risks, but whether those risks are worth it, I think there's a question mark over there. In terms of what he's trying to do with Pakistan, if he thinks that he'll be able to make this big breakthrough before the next election, which is going to actually sweep him back into power, then clearly he's deluding himself. It's not going to happen. It's the same delusion that 15 other prime ministers before him have suffered. I think he needs to be careful. Now, if, for example, number one, there is no invitation anywhere on the horizon.
That's right.
But assuming one comes, what is the reason for him to accept it? If you have to send somebody, you can send a junior minister, perhaps even the foreign minister. But beyond that, I don't see any reason why the Indian Prime Minister needs to go and participate in this tamasha, because you want to have this, the optics have to be good and all of that. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked in the past. It's not going to work now. This whole business that this will be a fresh start, we've had just too many. It's not a fresh start. It will be yet another false start. And I think that is what we need to be careful about. if you want to engage the Pakistanis at some level, there are various other channels that can be used to try and see whether Imran Khan, whether what you see with Imran Khan is what you get with Imran Khan.
Sushant,
I'm
earlier,
not so sure
Sushant,
that is what is going to happen.
Also very quickly,
because
earlier you were on the show, before I go to Kamar
always
Chima,
fooled ourselves.
you also expressed doubts about how much of a security can Pakistan be trusted with the Indian Prime Minister. You had said, and I remember on this show itself, that it would be almost inviting assassination attempt on the Prime Minister.
Yeah, because look at the kind of environment which has been created, environment of hate which has been created against Narendra Modi. He is virtually portrayed like an ogre, like a villain, like the Satan himself. And you know, you never know in Pakistan where bodyguards have shot the people in their charge on something far less than what Mr. Modi is accused of. He is accused of butchery of Muslims, etc., etc. The Pakistani deep state, gets in touch with lawyers in South Africa to arrest Mr. Modi when he lands in South Africa. All these kind of, too clever by half tactics have been used by the Pakistanis. Now, in the face of that, do you think that at least I as an Indian citizen would not feel that my Prime Minister should go to a country like this, because I don't know if Salman Taseer's bodyguard can kill him because Allah Miya appeared to him in his dream and said that you must shoot this guy who's defending blasphemy.
Okay.
Then what is there to suggest that somebody who's detailed for Prime Minister Modi's security, whether from the army or from the police or any of the other security services, might not take it upon himself that once he
Kamar Chima, I want you to come in on this. These are genuine concerns of Indian citizens, of experts as far as Pakistan is concerned. The other thing is, Kamar Chima, and let's be honest about it. You have been, you've been one of the guests who've always been honest when he makes his submissions on the program. You also know when it comes to India and the foreign policy, Imran Khan's hands are already tied. It's the army that has to take the call. It is the GHQ at Rawalpindi that has to take the call, not Imran Khan himself.
Well, first of all, I would accept that General Shankar wisely spoke that we need to start from somewhere, and let's talk Kashmir later on. I agree with that, one thing. Second thing, what you are talking is that I think even this is an election year for the Prime Minister Modi. I think in the last few months of the government, I think he will not have the mandate even to talk at length with Pakistan. So I think the
Sir, he's the Prime Minister. It's unlike in Pakistan. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder to a general to get a clearance on what he wants to do, sir. I just wanted to make that very quick point. Please go ahead.
I think in the last, everyone who is in power corridor and in the last few months and weeks, I think he actually loses the support, one thing. But as far as what I am understanding is that the hawks in India do not want Prime Minister Modi to come in Pakistan because they believe let's not things to be settled. I think what you are talking that the military is calling shot, I think that's not the game. The game is the military is giving the political leadership everyone chance that they need to lead everything, and the political establishment is doing that. The only thing is that you're trying to make the military controversial.
Right. I want to take that to General Prasad. I want to take that to General Prasad because you've made a very interesting point, sir. Kamar Chima Saab, you've made a very interesting point, and General Prasad, this in the end clarifies it all. The military in Pakistan is giving a chance to Imran Khan to in fact run a government. Isn't this exactly what we have been saying, talking about, that the Pakistani army, the all-powerful Pakistani army has in fact given this chance to Imran Khan? And hence they have in fact, when they have given this chance to Imran Khan, he would be obligated to in fact toe the line of the army in Pakistan.
I think he's an elected politician and he's
sir,
not...
you said it yourself, sir. I did not put these words in your mouth, sir. You're very right. I'm glad that you have accepted this. General Prasad, please go ahead, sir.
There's nothing to accept on it.
Ankit, you're absolutely right. The Pakistan army is giving Imran Khan a chance, which is a very good thing. They gave Nawaz Sharif a chance. They give everybody a chance. And this is the chance which Imran Khan can see how he can work on it. And he has to work in a manner which he has to ask every morning and evening, what is my next step? And they will tell him what the next step is as far as India and foreign policy is concerned. Is it not clear to Chima Saab? The point is simple, that you have accepted, and everybody in the world accepts, that the army chief, and I can tell you another very interesting fact if you want to listen to it. The army chief is soon going to make a statement. We are very happy democracy has succeeded. We have a very qualified, trusted, elected leader of Pakistan who will improve health, who will improve trade, who will improve relations with India and all of it. And he will come out with a statement very soon. I foresee it happening in the next 10 days, 5 days, 6 days. The army chief making a very good, and we all want dialogue with India. We all want friendship with India. And soon thereafter, you will find something happening. There'll be no let go on the terrorism. There'll be no let go on transborder infiltration or ceasefire violation. I want to make another point besides what you asked me, is about these people who are wanting to go to Pakistan at the invitation, whoever they may be. They must understand that what is the national position on national position means the position of the Indian people. I do not know what the government is going to say. Government is going to say what they think is appropriate. Okay. But we as Indians, Sushant Sareen and I are today on absolutely the same page. We say, as common Indians, we have. If Sushant Sareen is invited tomorrow for this summary, will he go? Well, you can ask him if he'll go or he won't go. I won't say on his behalf. But the point is this: if they invited me, which they will never do, I shall never go.
Okay.
I know invitation will never come to me, but I shall never go also.
Sir, I'm completely out of time.
The point is this, that
gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been a very informative, enriching debate, a debate in which we have also had a breakthrough with Mr. Kamar Chima, who has been gracious enough to accept that the Pakistani army has been gracious to give Imran Khan this opportunity to serve the country
of Pakistan. The institutions exchange. Don't twist my words.
No, I'm not. You said Pakistani army has given them a chance. We'll leave it there today.
Twist my words.
Thank you so much, Sushant Sareen, Kamar Chima and General Prasad for joining me on the broadcast.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.